Our world is filled with souls full of darkened consciousness, making it almost impossible for one to truly see the light. We live in a world filled with heightened sense of glorified immorality, iniquities, and diabolic utterances of all kinds. Allow me biblically and scientifically enlighten you about the prominent role of that which was, which is, and which is to come. Before I proceed with this, my disclaimer is and still remains effective, of which I believe that y'all know I am a truth speaker and a messenger, also a solicitor and activist for creativity. I don't believe in teaching someone. Rather, I believe in enlightenment and the freedom of thought's expression. We live in a harmonic universe where everything is vibrationally built, heightened, and deepened. As a believer of Christ, I've always wanted to know more about God biblically and scientifically. So this inspired my curiosity as I began walking with Christ. The more I walk, the higher I ascend, and the higher I ascend, the more I know God on a deeper level. Cosmically, everything within space and time is unified. The universe was designed from an unseen foundation of a conscious loving energy, known as the zero-point energy. Zero-point energy. Zero-point energy is a form of energy where everything that progresses has been established. Think about numbers, for example. Numerically, before we count one, there's a zero. So before we progress with other numbers, we start by acknowledging the zero, then 1, 2, 3, etc. Now science is a non-physical phenomena of the cosmos. Everything seen and unseen is science. If you want to know the secret keys of the universe, then also acknowledge numerical values. I believe my co-genius Nikola Tesla was trying to say that as well when he established the 369 theory. If you want to know the secret keys of the universe, then think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration. We've arrived to the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing or the age of information. This cycle of consciousness brings forth occulted mysteries of the truth and of evil too. As we approach the end of time and fulfillment of the prophecy in the book of Revelations, as it was foretold in the Bible, this is an era where the truth becomes twisted and presented as the actual truth. Meanwhile, making us become serial robots that can be controlled. We sell our thoughts and the freedom to think for a piece of change masked as religion, therefore obliterating our true sense of the divine. Men becomes glorifiers and lovers of the flesh. Evil and wickedness become all-time high. Disease, anger, pride, fear, and scarcity becomes more powerful and a dominating factor in our minds. The very building blocks of life, atoms and molecules, are not particles. However, they are nothing more than a toroidal whirlpool of energies, erupting and flowing through like an endless stream of an ocean. I believe that the Western scientific tradition knew that all beings, animal and animus, seen and unseen, has a power source of life's energy. Somewhere within time and space lies a primitive, ominous knowledge, full of creativity and understanding, of source energy created the Galactic Federation and star civilization races, of which I believe the theological process of Adam came to life. Several conspiracy theories exude that aliens or angels and high vibrational beings exist within us. They study us, they learn from us. They see us, but we don't see them. The reason is because we're designed to live within the thread of energies. Therefore, energies cannot be seen but felt. We can't see extraterrestrial beings, such as angels and aliens, or even spirits with the naked eyes, but they can seen and felt with the third eye, not eyes. Proverbs 20 verse 12 says, "The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord made them." He made them as a gift that there's an advantage of a seeing eye. I believe this biblical text was trying to say not all eye sees, and not every ear hears. But if one is attuned to a much higher power and remain on a certain frequency, the sixth sense is purified and sanctified, causing an awakening and a rebirth of the mind, body, and spirit in unification with the whole. There's a difference between the natural eye and the supernatural eye, although God made them all. The ether fluid that surrounds us is a source of tremendous energy that is in constant vibrational motion, flowing through all objects in the universe. In the humane body, the cerebrospinal fluid, also known as the fluid of nature, contains molecules that travels to the central kernel of the spine and travels back to the brain, to and fro. As above, so below. The fundamental fields of energies and frequencies must emanate directly from the ether or source, therefore unifying the force field of information that forms all physicality, taking different shapes and forms. This unified field of energy is sacred and pure. If source energy must move to form all physicality, then ultimately consciousness is just another form of ether movement. Thus, a well-trained individual who've mastered the art of transmutation and/or must have integrated the conscious and unconscious minds together can create streamlines of motion, capable of moving much more quickly and exhibiting higher intellectual abilities, contributing positive values by remaining balanced in love, as it's said to be highest level of vibrational frequency in motion. No one. Humans ought to move in love, which is representing the feet. No two. Abide in love, which is representing the mind. No three. Create with love, which is representing the hands. And lastly, no four. Radiate love genuinely towards one another, which is representing the heart. The feet, hands, minds, and heart represents the four elements of creation. Water, fire, air, earth, also known as dust, that God formed us with. The heart is just an extension of earth within us. From dust we were made, and unto dust we shall return. Collectively, when we utilize this earth towards growth, we all raise the vibration of earth faster. And when we raise the vibration of earth, we eradicate sickness, obliterate evil, and eliminate wickedness permanently. This can't be achieved without love. Love is just an energy in motion, motion. And it's the fundamental nature for God's energy, which is the love and light within us. The atonement of division is unity. And when we collectively unify, we activate then power of singularity, where we become simultaneous with light, time, and space, as one's heart becomes deeply rooted with everything in nature. This alchemical transformational process merges the yin and yang energies, the masculine and feminine, the higher and lower minds in high vibrations. In this process, the metaphysical becomes more heightened by means of intuitive abilities. The more it increases, the more stable and unified composition one will become. Love is the tendency for entities within the unified field, whether human bodies, animal, plant, or mineral, to increasingly vibrate towards harmonic oneness. No doubt, I believe man is divinely simplex, elegant, instinctual, hypersensitive, strong, and vital at its best, and most importantly possesses the seed of life within them to recreate and experience life through mixture of genetics and fluidly substances, also known as the seminal fluid. We are infinite in, night meaning inward. Physics, ignited, which simply means the act of regeneration. The golden ratio, sometimes referred to as the divine proportion or the phi ratio, is found in all. Alchemy is the ancient branch of natural philosophy. It's a philosophical and proto-scientific tradition that China, India, Egypt, Mexico, and Europe historically practiced. It is the foundation of all world religions, as a concept of uniting the physical and spiritual forces of nature into one. For example, body and soul, heaven and earth, physics and metaphysics. A natural raw power from the cosmos, in partnership with an individual who's seeking to become the universe's craftsman. As one becomes initiated, one becomes a mystic. My theological thoughts on Source's creation is solemnly based on two factors, and they're the universal scale, Libra, Bela, or April. Libra or April. Libra is one of the zodiac signs, an interdimensional module of the mind and spirit. Metaphysical, known for its unification of balance, and serves as the law and justice system of the universe. the holistic and divine exuberance of karma and dharma and the universal library, Libra, Rye. It represents lessons that needs to be learnt and as well collects debts that needs to be paid. When undergoing spiritual awakening or ascension, the integral phase of one's purification begins as they journey through the depths of self-discovery, an internal process one must undergo in other to become one with Source. Nevertheless, spiritual awakening is all about science and spirituality. Hence, this experience never sees to end as long as one's breathing, one's learning. Whereas April's the fourth month of the year. However, April's original name was generated from the word Abraham. Biblical texts referred him to be the father of many nations, and certainly I instinctually feel that civilization era of man had begun. Hence, being the father of many nations, the name Abraham in several spiritual contexts represents a dimensional extension of reality, body matter, and when Libra spirit matter, and when Libra spirit births the first and last. Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, etc. Going further, this questions everything about spiritual awakening. I believe when men seek to be God, they forget that God is simply found within a man. What we seek on the outside outward cannot be found outside, rather can be found on the inside, the inward state of being. Whereas these two elements, spirit matter, are separated, the outer experience becomes more chaotic and more conditioned to societal standards and animalistic desires, lacking empathy and making unconscious decisions based on stressful thought process and predictive measures, yet meaning, exoteric thinking process. Whereas when harmonized, one becomes intuitive and unconditioned to what was, in other to find what is, which definitely sounds like freedom to me, while being subjected to think and make decisions based on pressure, predicting if it'll work or not. One becomes free in submission to the higher mind's intuitive guidance instead of thinking. One's conditioned to the inner knowing more, meaning esoteric knowing process. Thus, this universal theory states that all is sacred, nothing is wasted, depicting the yin and yang energies of oneself. Self-discipline is to die to self and to be fortified and purified sacredly, so that one could resurrected from the ashes to be reborn in its own God form. A healthy and balanced human body never lacks integrity. To go within is to access the high twin yin and yang, masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious, of oneself. During this process, one's perception becomes rooted through divine illumination. The goal is to balance both polarities and energies by means of equation. And in other, to balance these polarities, one's observation must be in alignment through calibration. In other, to fully attain libration, complete self-mastery discovery of oneself. The pineal gland, also known as the third eye chakra, is a dimensional portal for oneness. This portal, located at the central level of the forehead, is the gateway for one's sight in the spirit. My peculiar study on this altered a change of perception in my life. The third eye chakra isn't one's third eye, but rather the first eye. I literally can't wrap my head around such thing as the third eye chakra. Instead of calling it for what it is, rather than what's not. I can't dissent the fact that the first eye chakra is called the third eye chakra. For if this was so, then how can one see the light without true sight? The first eye chakra, also known as the third eye chakra, is a vortex for spiritual foresight and insight, guiding oneself towards the light as they continually use their sight, not sights, but sight. One's perception is the primal gateway of the divine's illumination, bringing spiritual ideas to fruition so it can take its effect in Source's creation. By doing so, our Father in heaven names glorified. The occulted knowledge about the pituitary gland is the fact that its activation is holistic and sacred if used for the right reasons. When it's instantly activated and opened, such individual gains rewards from the Creator. Hence, the Bible reference to this reads, I say unto you, that likewise joy shall be in heaven over one sinner that repenteth, more than over 99 just persons, which need no repentance. Luke 15:7. It is indeed a gift for each and every one of us, knowing that we can access the truth without being told. We can all see, hear, and speak with the Creator with ease. And that is a gift. The pituitary gland, when activated, brings discernment, and wherever there's discernment, there's illumination. And when there's illumination, there's divine connection and contentment. The pineal gland, or pituitary gland, is the first step to spiritual awakening, when one's awakened the Kundalini becomes activated. The process of spiritual awakening in science is referred as the activation of the two central nerves that's directly linked to the pituitary gland, also known as the medulla oblongata. Ida, red nerve. Pingala, blue nerve. They're the primal holders of the sacred oil or scared fluid that flows to and fro from the pineal gland, the third eye chakra, down to the base of our spine, the root chakra. Kundalini awakening in spirituality is the activation of this nerves in our bodies, often depicted in spiritual communities, and could be seen in several spiritual videos as two coiling snakes crossing one another, while they move from the base of our spine to the base of our skull. Also known as Kundalini rising. It embodies the sacred oil of wisdom and foresight of the spirit. It starts from the base of the spine, the root chakra, and activates it when the root chakra is activated. It goes up to the sacral chakra and activates it. Same thing applies to the solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra. And when it reaches the pineal gland, the third eye, it activates the spiritual eye for clarity and intuition. I'd see you soon on the part 2 of this message, as I uncover certain mysteries that you probably haven't heard of. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more contents. My name is Bazzy Francis. Have a blessed day.